Practice Test 3. Part 3. Question 31. Who do you contact when you need to locate where the electric meter will be located for a new home? The electrical supplier. Contact the electric supplier when needing to locate the electric meter location on new home. New home, need the location of new electric meter, contact electrical supplier. Question 32. You, as an electrical contractor, have finished the rough wiring on a new structure. What do you do next? Contact the inspector. After finishing the rough wiring on a new structure, contact the inspector. Contact the inspector after finishing rough wiring on a new structure. Question 33. Which of the following would you use to check the power of a circuit? Both, ammeter and voltmeter. Use ammeter and voltmeter to check the power of a circuit. To check the power of a circuit, use both ammeter and voltmeter. Question 34. What is the problem with aluminum wiring? All the above. Conductivity is not as great as copper. The resistance in aluminum wire is greater, therefore causing a greater voltage drop. Aluminum wire expands and contracts to greater degree than copper does, which causes a poor connection. The problem with aluminum wiring is less conductive to copper. It has greater resistance, causing greater voltage drop. It expands and contracts more than copper, and which makes poor connection. Aluminum wire problems. Not as conductive, higher resistance and higher volt drop. Expand contracts causing loose connection. Question 35. To eliminate the possibility of an incorrect reading of the resistance in a parallel circuit, disconnect one side of the component tested. Disconnect one side of parallel circuit tested to eliminate possibility of incorrect resistance reading. Disconnect one side of parallel circuit tested to eliminate possibility of incorrect resistance reading. Question 36. Watts in an AC circuit equal volts multiplied by amperes multiplied by power factor. Watts in AC circuit equal volts times amps times power factor. Volts times amps times power factor equal watts in AC circuit. Question 37. If the voltmeter reads voltage when placed across the terminals of a switch, then the switch position is open. Voltmeter reads voltage when placed across terminal switch, the switch is open. Voltmeter gets voltage across terminals of an open switch. Question 38. In troubleshooting a defective unit, what circuits can be eliminated from the testing procedure? Circuits not causing any trouble. Do not include working circuits when troubleshooting defective unit. When testing defective unit, do not test functioning circuits in troubleshooting. Question 39. With respect to pulling wires into a conduit, it is usually specified that a certain percentage of the conduit area must be left unoccupied. The purpose of this requirement is to permit pulling the wires in without undue strain or abrasion. A certain amount of unoccupied space in conduit is to prevent pulling the wire without any undue strain or abrasion. Wires need a specified amount of space so they do not have undue strain or abrasion when pulled. Question 40. When installing electric wiring, it is essential that all conduits be rigidly supported. All electric conduits must be rigidly support. Always rigidly support electric conduits. Question 41. What meter is used to measure the resistance of the wire covering, insulations? Megameter. Test the resistance of wire insulation cover with a megameter. Use megameter to test wire insulation cover. Question 42. High voltage switches in power plants are commonly so constructed that their contacts are submerged in oil. The purpose of the oil is to help quench arcing. Power plant high voltage switches have their contacts submerged in oil to quench arcing. High voltage switches in power plants have contacts submerged in oil to quench arcing. Question 43. Ohm's law. Given 8 amps and 120 volts, what is the resistance in ohms? 15 ohms. Ohm's law. 8 amp, 120 volts, the resistance is 15 ohms. Ohm's law. 8 amp, 120 volts, the resistance is 15 ohms. Question 44. How many wires are used for the main power supplying to a building? 3. 3 wires are used to supply main power to a building. 3-wire supply to feed main power in a building. Question 45. If a residence has electric heating, what amperage service to the building is required? 200 amp minimum. Residence with electric heating requires 200 amp service minimum. 200 amp minimum service for home with electric heating.